I learned very early in our marriage that silence could hurt more than shouting. Rowan never raised his voice, never slammed doors, never threw insults. He simply didn't see me, which somehow felt worse. Every morning, I woke up beside an alpha who felt miles away. His back always faced me. Broad, warm, unreachable. Sometimes I reached out, not to wake him, just to feel something. My fingers hovered inches from his skin. I always pulled back, because touching someone who didn't want you was its own kind of humiliation. Rowan was already dressed when I came out of the bathroom. Perfect suit, perfect hair, perfect alpha. I stood there in an oversized sweater that used to belong to him. It didn't smell like him anymore. When did that happen? Breakfast? I asked softly. I ate. Of course he had. He always did. At work. With colleagues. With people who mattered. I nodded. Okay. That word became my favorite. Okay. It meant I wouldn't fight. It meant I wouldn't beg. It meant I wouldn't remind him I existed. Our kitchen was big. Modern. Cold. Everything white and gray. No warmth. No color. Just like us. I poured myself coffee. My hands shook. I told myself it was because I was tired. Not because I was lonely. Not because I could feel something slipping away. Your heat suppressants, Rowan said suddenly. I looked up. He was checking his watch. Not me. They're running low. Order more. That was how he spoke to me. Like a responsibility. Not a partner. I will. He nodded once. Conversation over. Married. Yet somehow living like polite strangers. We had been married for 2 years. An arranged match. 2 powerful families. Good genetics. Compatible pheromones. A contract disguised as romance. Rowan had never pretended to love me. But I had pretended long enough for both of us. I told myself love could grow. That if I was patient, gentle, supportive, he would eventually choose me. I cooked. Cleaned. Smiled. Stayed quiet. Never complained. Never demanded. Never took up space. I became easy. Because easy omegas didn't get abandoned. Right? I worked part-time at a flower shop. It didn't pay much. But I liked it. Flowers didn't lie. They didn't pretend. When they were dying, you could see it. Unlike marriages. My friend Jace worked there too. A beta. Loud. Protective. Always angry on my behalf. You look like hell, he said one afternoon. Good afternoon to you too. He crossed his arms. Did he ignore you again? I didn't answer. Which was answer enough. Kai, Jace said quietly. You deserve better. I smiled. A small one. He's my husband. That doesn't make him good to you. I changed the subject. Because defending Rowan had become a reflex. Even when he didn't deserve it. The first sign of cheating wasn't a lipstick stain. Or a strange scent. Or suspicious messages. It was timing. Rowan started coming home late. Not occasionally. Not during busy seasons. Every night. Meetings. Business dinners. Emergency calls. I never questioned him. Because I was afraid of the answer. One night, he didn't come home at all. I sat on the couch. Lights off. Phone in my hand. I didn't call. Calling meant admitting I cared more than he did. He came home at 5:12 a.m. I smelled it immediately. Another omega. Sweet. Floral. Not mine. My stomach twisted. Rowan froze when he saw me. You're awake. I couldn't sleep. A lie. I hadn't slept. Not even for a minute. Silence stretched between us. Then he said, I'm seeing someone else. Just like that. No apology. No hesitation. No guilt. The word sliced through me. Oh. That word again. Okay. Oh. My entire emotional vocabulary. I didn't plan it, Rowan continued. But I won't lie to you. How generous. She understands me. I nodded. She makes me feel alive. I nodded again. I think she's pregnant. My world tilted. Pregnant. The word echoed. Something inside me shattered. I want a divorce, Rowan said. I waited for pain. Screaming. Crying. Begging. None of it came. Just numbness. When? I asked. As soon as possible. I nodded. Okay. Rowan looked almost surprised. Maybe he expected drama. Maybe he wanted guilt. I had nothing left to give him. He walked past me, went to shower, like he hadn't just destroyed my life. I sat there, hands folded, back straight. Good Omega. Obedient Omega. Disposable Omega. I didn't know it yet, but the universe was about to play a cruel joke. Rowan didn't move out right away, which somehow hurt more than if he had. He still slept in the same bed, still used the same bathroom, still drank coffee from the same mug, like nothing had changed, like he hadn't told me he was in love with someone else, like he hadn't looked me in the eyes and said she might be pregnant. Every morning, I woke up tense, waiting, listening, trying to guess whether he would leave early, whether he would look at me, whether he would speak. Most days, he did none of those things. He existed around me, not with me. 3 days after his confession, divorce papers arrived. Not from a lawyer. From Rowan. He placed the envelope on the kitchen counter, between the fruit bowl and the coffee machine. Casually, like it was junk mail. I already signed, he said. I stared at the envelope. My name printed neatly. Kai Rowan Hale. I had taken his surname. He never took mine. A small detail. One of many I ignored. You can have the apartment, Rowan added. I'll move out once everything is finalized. Of course. The apartment. Not the marriage. Not the memories. Not me. I picked up the envelope. It felt heavier than it should have. Do you love her? I asked. The question slipped out before I could stop it. Rowan paused. Just long enough to hurt. Yes. There it was. Clean. Sharp. Final. I nodded. Okay. He studied me, like he was trying to understand why I wasn't breaking. The truth? I had already shattered. Rowan stopped pretending after that. He took calls in front of me, texted openly, smiled at his phone. I learned the sound of her ringtone. Soft. Chiming. Sweet. Everything I wasn't. Sometimes he left right after dinner. Sometimes he didn't come home. Sometimes he showered before leaving. Sometimes after returning. I stopped asking, because every answer came with images I didn't want. His hands on her waist, his mouth on her skin, his scent mixing with hers. Things that used to be mine. I felt myself shrinking. Day by day. Emotion by emotion. Jace noticed. Of course he did. You're losing weight, he said at work. I'm fine. You look like you're dying slowly. I forced a smile. Dramatic much? He grabbed my wrist gently. Kai, did he cheat? My silence answered him. Jace swore. Loudly. Creatively. In multiple languages. I'll kill him. Please don't. I'll maim him. Jace. He doesn't deserve you. I looked away. Maybe I never deserved him either. Jace's eyes softened. Don't talk like that. But I didn't know how to talk any other way anymore. One evening, I came home early from work. Headache. Nausea. Probably stress. Probably exhaustion. The apartment was empty. Too quiet. I went to the bedroom. Rowan's laptop was open on the desk. I never touched his things. Not once in 2 years. I don't know why I did that day. Maybe curiosity. Maybe self-sabotage. Maybe I needed proof. The screen showed an open chat window. Her name was Mira. There were hearts. Pet names. Photos. I didn't scroll far. I didn't need to. One message burned itself into my memory. Mira. The doctor says I'm about 8 weeks. Rowan. I'll take responsibility. I promise. 8 weeks. My hands started shaking. I closed the laptop. Slowly. Like moving too fast might break me into pieces. That night, Rowan didn't come home. I didn't text him. Didn't call. Didn't cry. I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, listening to my own breathing. And something strange happened. I stopped hoping. Not dramatically. Not in a big, cinematic way. Hope just faded, like a candle running out of wax. And when hope dies, love usually follows. The next morning, I signed the divorce papers. Without reading them. Because I didn't care what I was getting. I only cared about leaving. Rowan came home around noon. I placed the signed envelope on the table. I signed. He looked at it. Then at me. Thank you. Thank you. For agreeing to be abandoned. For making it easy. For not causing trouble. You can move out, I said quietly. I'll stay somewhere else. Rowan frowned. You don't have to. I want to. He hesitated, then nodded. Okay. That was it. No hug. No apology. No goodbye. 2 years reduced to paperwork. That night, I packed a single suitcase. Clothes. Documents. Toothbrush. Nothing sentimental. Because I didn't want to remember. I paused at the bedroom door. Looked at the space where I had once imagined raising children. Where I had once imagined growing old. Dreams are funny. They feel permanent. Until they aren't. I left the key on the counter. Closed the door behind me. And walked into the rain. I didn't know it yet. But life was already growing inside me. Quiet. Small. Unnoticed. A secret even I didn't know. And it would change everything. The first week after the divorce felt unreal. Like I was walking through someone else's life. Jace let me crash on his couch. No questions. No lectures. Just a blanket. A pillow. And space. Which somehow hurt more than words. I kept expecting Rowan to text. Not to apologize. Not to beg. Just to ask if I had arrived safely. He didn't. Days passed. Then another week. Nothing. I told myself I was fine. I told myself I was relieved. I told myself this was freedom. Lies stacked on top of lies. My body started changing. Subtly at first. I was always tired. Not normal tired. Heavy tired. Like gravity had increased. Food smelled strange. Coffee made me nauseous. The flower shop felt too warm. Too bright. Too loud. I blamed stress. Divorce stress. Emotional burnout. Anyone would feel like this. Right? Jace watched me one morning as I gagged over the sink. You sick? Probably caught something. You've been probably sick for 2 weeks. I shrugged. Maybe my suppressants are off. Jace's eyes narrowed. Kai, don't. He didn't finish. But the look said everything. Pregnancy. The word floated between us. Impossible. Rowan said Mira was pregnant. Not me. I was the barren Omega. The defective one. The Omega no Alpha wanted to breed. I had heard it enough times growing up. I believed it. So I pushed the thought away. Hard. I found a tiny studio apartment. Barely bigger than Jace's living room. Cracked tiles. Leaky faucet. But it was mine. I slept on a mattress on the floor. No decorations. No photos. No memories. Just survival. Work. Home. Sleep. Repeat. Some nights I woke up crying. Some mornings I woke up empty. Both were exhausting. It happened at the flower shop. I bent down to lift a box of soil. A sharp pain stabbed my lower abdomen. Not unbearable. Not dramatic. Just wrong. I froze. Breathed slowly. It passed. But unease stayed. Later, I noticed light spotting. Panic crawled up my spine. I stood in the bathroom at work, staring at the faint red on the tissue. My hands shook. It's nothing, I whispered. Stress can cause this. Hormones fluctuate. Bodies malfunction. I repeated every excuse I could think of. Because the alternative was terrifying. That night, I stopped by a pharmacy. I didn't plan to buy anything. I wandered, aisle after aisle, until I was standing in front of pregnancy tests. Rows of small boxes. So ordinary. So life-altering. I picked one up. Then put it back. Then picked it up again. Just to rule it out, I muttered. I paid in cash. Like I was committing a crime. In my bathroom. Tiny. Flickering light. I stared at the test. Hands trembling. Negative, I whispered. Please be negative. I waited. 10 seconds felt like 10 years. 2 lines appeared. Clear. Bright. Unmistakable. Positive. My knees gave out. I slid down against the wall. Staring. Shaking. No, I whispered. This isn't possible. I took another test. Positive. A third. Positive. Air left my lungs. I was pregnant. Not just pregnant. Far enough along for multiple positives. Memories crashed into me. The nausea. The fatigue. The missed heat. The abdominal pain. I pressed a hand to my stomach. Flat. Normal. Empty. And yet, not empty. Tears streamed down my face. Not happy tears. Not sad tears. Terrified tears. Because the father could only be one person. Rowan. The alpha who divorced me. The alpha who chose another omega. The alpha who thought I couldn't give him children. A broken laugh escaped me. Of course, I whispered. The universe had a sick sense of humor. I didn't tell anyone. Not Jace. Not my family. Not even myself. I folded the tests into the trash. Like I could erase reality. I went to bed. Didn't sleep. All I could think about was Mira. Her supposed pregnancy. Rowan's promise to take responsibility. What if she was lying? What if she wasn't? Either way, he would never believe me. Even if I told him. Even if I showed proof. Because I was the omega he had already decided was barren. Disposable. Replaceable. So I made a choice. A quiet one. A desperate one. I would raise this child alone. No Rowan. No drama. No begging. No second chances. Just me. And the tiny life growing inside me. I didn't know it yet. But fate wasn't done with us. Not even close. I scheduled the hospital appointment under a fake name. Not because I was hiding from the world, but because I was hiding from Rowan. From fate. From myself. Jace insisted on coming. I'm not letting you face this alone. I didn't argue. I didn't have the energy. The hospital smelled like antiseptic and anxiety. Pregnant omegas everywhere. Round bellies. Partners holding hands. Soft smiles. It felt like walking through a life I was never meant to have. Jace held my elbow. You okay? No. But I kept walking anyway. The nurse confirmed what I already knew. 12 weeks. Healthy. Strong heartbeat. Not one baby. 2. Twins, she said gently. The word hit harder than anything before it. Twins. Rowan's twins. My hands trembled. Jace squeezed my fingers. You're not alone, he whispered. I nodded. Barely. I left the ultrasound room in a daze. That's when I heard his voice. Kai. My blood turned to ice. I turned slowly. Rowan stood in the hallway. Perfect suit. Perfect posture. Beside him, Mira, hand resting possessively on his arm. Her stomach was flat. Not rounded. Not swollen. Not anything like 3 months pregnant. My heart pounded. This was a coincidence. A cruel one. Rowan's eyes dropped. To my hospital bracelet. To the ultrasound envelope in my hand. Then back to my face. What are you doing here? None of your business. That's what I wanted to say. Instead, checkup. Mira smiled tightly. We're here for mine too. Rowan nodded. Myra's pregnancy. The lie slid out so easily. Mira avoided my eyes. Interesting. A nurse approached with a clipboard. Mira Hale. Mira flinched. Yes. Follow me. Rowan squeezed her hand. I'll be right here. They walked down the hall. Jace leaned close to me. She's not pregnant. I know. I mean medically. I overheard the nurse. Gynecology. Not obstetrics. My stomach twisted. Hope tried to rise. I crushed it. Hope was dangerous. Minutes passed. Then shouting. High-pitched. Hysterical. Mira burst out of the room. They're lying, she screamed. Your tests are wrong. The doctor followed. Miss, your blood work and scans show no pregnancy. Rowan stared at her. What? Myra's eyes darted. I was pregnant. I lost it. They messed up. The doctor shook her head. There is no evidence you were ever pregnant. Silence fell like a bomb. Rowan's face drained of color. You said you were 8 weeks, he whispered. Mira grabbed his arm. I just didn't want to lose you. Everything clicked. Rowan slowly turned toward me. His eyes locked on the ultrasound envelope in my hand. Kai. I stepped back. Jace moved in front of me. Don't. Rowan's voice broke. Is that yours? I didn't answer. Is it mine? I swallowed. No. Lie. Weak. Useless. Because fate hates liars. The nurse from earlier returned. Kai Carter. I flinched. Yes. Doctor is ready to discuss your twin pregnancy results. The world stopped. Rowan stared at me. Twins. The word echoed. Mira screamed. That's impossible. Rowan looked like he might collapse. Kai. Tears filled his eyes. Please. Tell me. My hands shook. They're yours. Rowan staggered back. No. He ran a hand through his hair. I thought you couldn't. So did I. Silence. Heavy. Ugly. Final. Mira lunged at me. You stole him from me. Security grabbed her. She was dragged away screaming. Rowan didn't look at her. He only looked at me. I made a mistake. A bitter laugh tore out of me. You made a choice. Rowan dropped to his knees. In the hospital hallway. Public. Undignified. I'll fix this. I swear. I'll divorce her. I'll come back. We'll be a family. I stared at the man who abandoned me. The man who replaced me. The man who only wanted me now because I was carrying his children. No. Rowan blinked. What? I'm not your backup plan. Jace took my hand. We're leaving. Rowan grabbed my sleeve. Kai, please. I pulled away. You lost the right to call me that. We walked away. Rowan's sobs followed me down the hallway. I didn't turn back. Because some doors, once closed, should stay closed. Rowan didn't stop trying. Texts. Calls. Emails. Voicemails. Flowers at my job. Letters slid under my apartment door. I blocked every number. Changed my email. Told my landlord not to accept deliveries for me. Silence was my only shield. Because if I listened, I might break. And I refused to break for a man who had already broken me once. Pregnancy is lonely. Even when you choose it. Even when you're strong. Your body changes without asking. Your emotions surge without warning. Some nights I cried because I was scared. Some nights I cried because I was happy. Most nights I cried because I was tired. Jace moved into the tiny apartment with me. Slept on a mattress in the corner. I'm not letting you spiral, he said. He came to doctor appointments. Held my hand during ultrasounds. Talked to my stomach like the twins could hear him. Your parent is a badass, he told them. It made me smile. Rowan showed up one evening anyway. Standing outside my building. Soaked from the rain. Eyes red. Suit wrinkled. The mighty alpha reduced to a man. I almost didn't open the door. I did. Because I wanted closure. Not reconciliation. Closure. I ended things with Mira, Rowan said immediately. I don't care. I fired my lawyer. I want to redo the divorce. I don't. I love you, he said. I laughed softly. No, you don't. Rowan looked devastated. I do. You love what I can give you, I said. Our children. Silence. That's not love, I continued. That's entitlement. Rowan fell to his knees again. I'll spend my whole life proving myself. I don't want your lifetime. I stepped back. I want peace. Rowan reached out. I closed the door. That was the last time I saw him. Months passed. My belly grew. Twins kicked. Hard. Like they were impatient to enter the world. I talked to them every night. Told them they were wanted. Loved. Safe. Even if their other parent wasn't part of our lives. I worked until I couldn't anymore. Then Jace worked extra shifts. Friends donated baby clothes. Secondhand. Mismatched. Perfect. We built something real. Not rich. Not glamorous. But honest. Labor was long. Painful. Terrifying. I screamed. Cried. Almost gave up. Jace held my hand the entire time. You're doing great, he kept saying. You're incredible. When I heard their cries, everything else disappeared. 2 tiny omegas. So small. So perfect. Mine. I held them against my chest. Skin to skin. Warm. Alive. I had never felt love like that before. Not romantic. Not conditional. Pure. I named them. Luca. And Eli. 2 hearts.